Today I'll be working in my workbook called Saul, Israel's First King, which is my second workbook in the book of First Samuel. And this book covers chapters 8 through 15. Looking at the table of contents, if I can get there. Good. We've already completed the first two chapters. That is, Samuel is the leader of Israel at the chapter 1, and the country of Israel is asking for a king, which he brings to God, and God doesn't like it and tells Samuel to let them know what a king means. He does, and they still want a king. So God says, okay, if that's what they want. And so in chapter 2, Samuel is in the town of Ramah, and Saul is chosen to be king. And of course, Saul has no pre-understanding of that this is going to happen. It comes upon him just all of a sudden, like he is looking for his donkeys. They go to find a seer. They find Samuel, and Samuel says, "You're going to be the king." And so that's kind of how it felt to Samuel. Um, it was kind of a strange time, but Samuel does get the Holy Spirit put inside him, and so he's a little more prepared to be a king at that point. So now we're going to be in chapter 3, where Saul is proclaimed king. So Saul is proclaimed king, and this is in 1 Samuel 10, chapter 10, verses 10 through 27. When he and his servant arrived at Gibeah, that is, Saul and his servant arrived at Gibeah, a procession of the prophets met him. The Spirit of God came powerfully upon Saul, and he joined in their prophesying. When all those who had formerly known him saw him prophesying with the prophets, they asked each other, "What is this that is happening to the son of Kish? Is Saul also among the prophets?" The man who lived there answered, "And who is their father?" So it became a saying, "Is Saul also among the prophets?" After Saul stopped prophesying, he went to the high place. So we knew that this was going to happen from the prior chapter. So let's see, find Gibeah. All right, underline it. Okay, so we're going to underline Gibeah. See Gibeah right there. Okay. Who met Saul when he got there? Procession of prophets. What did the other people think when they saw Saul prophesying? Um, is Saul among the prophets? Where did Saul go after he stopped prophesying? He went up to a high place, which we know from, but I kind of forgot. But anyway, so he went to the high place. High place is naturally a place to worship. It's called the high place because it's in the higher mountains, but high place is a place to worship. Both sometimes a high place, you have to watch out because sometimes a high place means the altars to the idols too. So you have to kind of know the story to know which high place they're talking about. Now, Saul's uncle asked him and his servant, "Where have you been?" "Looking for the donkeys," he said. "But when we saw they were not to be found, we went to Samuel." Saul's uncle said, "Tell me what Samuel said to you." Saul replied, "He assured us that the donkeys had been found." But he did not tell his uncle what Samuel had said about the kingship. Yeah, so Saul still doesn't know what to think about this whole kingship situation. Who asked Saul where he had been? His uncle. Saul responds by telling of some of the events of his travel. What did he tell of? We went to look for the donkeys, and we went to see Samuel. Does it appear Saul's uncle knew who Samuel was? Yes, it does appear that he knew who Samuel was. What did Saul not tell his uncle? That Saul had destined him for to be king, and he went and he was prophesying and all these things. Why do you think Saul did not tell of the kingship? Because he still can't believe it, in my opinion. He still can't believe that it's going to happen. Samuel summoned the people of Israel to the Lord at Mizpah and said to them, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says. I brought I brought Israel out of Egypt, and I delivered you from the power of Egypt and all the kingdoms that oppressed you. But you have now rejected your God, who saves you out of all your disasters and calamities. And you have said, no, appoint a king over us. So now present yourselves before the Lord by your tribes and clans. A clan is a smaller group within a tribe. Find Mizpah and underline it. Mm, mm. If Samuel summoned all the people to Mizpah, would Saul have been there as well? Yes. Make a line from Gibeah to Mizpah. Okay, I'll do that. I don't think I can unless I take care of it again. Okay, Gibeah to Mizpah. Who did Samuel say the people had rejected? They had rejected God. What did the people want to have appointed to over them? A king. How many tribes are there? There are 12 tribes, but as a clan, a smaller group within the tribe. When Samuel had all Israel come forward by tribes, the tribe of Benjamin was taken by lot. Then he brought forward the tribe of Benjamin, clan by clan, and Matri's clan was taken. Finally, Saul, son of Kish, was taken, but when they looked for him, he was not to be found. Samuel is casting lots to determine a decision. Casting lots is like throwing dice. Casting lots is used several times in the Bible to determine results. The most famous time is at the cross when the soldiers cast lots for Jesus' clothing. So basically, he is pointing out to the people who God has asked to become king. So first he comes and he selects the tribe of Benjamin through Lot. Then he goes clan by clan, and Matri's clan is taken by Lot. And finally, Saul, son of Kish, is decided upon by Lot, but he's not even there. With the first lot, which tribe was chosen? Benjamin. With the second lot, which tribe was chosen? Matri. With the third lot, which person was chosen? Saul. Was Saul at this gathering? No, he was not. If Samuel already knows who God is called to be king, why is this selection process? Because he wants the people to know that Saul is the one that God picked, not just that he picked him. So it's more than just that, more than him saying, okay, that's what God told me. The people are going to see that's what God has selected. What does it mean to cast lots? Is to throw dice. Sometimes casting lots could be um, balls too. Some people have like a bag of black balls and one white ball. So that's another way of doing casting lots. Probably a little more common now than throwing dice, but if everyone is supposed to be there, why do you think Saul is not there? Because he doesn't want to be picked to be king. So they inquired further of the Lord, has the man come here yet? And the Lord said, yes, he's hidden himself among the supplies. They ran and brought him out, and as he stood among the people, he was a head taller than any of the others. Saul said to all the people, do you see the man the Lord has chosen? There is no one like him among all the people. Then the people shouted, long live the king. Who did the people inquire to as to the location of God? Saul. They inquired of the Lord, which is a good thing to do. They've been doing that all the way through. Where is Saul? He's hiding among the supply cabinets. He does not want to be king. What is unique about Saul over any of the others? He's a head taller of everybody else. What does Samuel tell the people about Saul? Uh, he is the man the Lord has chosen. No one is like him among all the people. What do the people say when they realize he's the chosen king? Long live the king. Saul did not tell his uncle of being anointed the future king, and here he seems almost to have hidden himself away. What do you think is going through Saul's mind? I so don't want to be king. What is this wanting to be king business? I don't feel like I deserve it or anything. Saul explained to the people the rights and duties of kingship. He wrote them down on a scroll and deposited it before the Lord. Then Samuel dismissed the people to go to their homes. And so he wrote down the rights and responsibilities of the king. And we already saw them in the first chapter when they decided to have a king. He explained the rights and duties of a king. And um, Saul also went to his home in Gibeah, accompanied by valiant men whose hearts God had touched. But some scoundrels said, "How can this fellow save us?" They despised him and brought him no gifts, but Saul kept silent. So some men could not understand why it was Saul that was decided to be their leader. He's from the smallest clan and blah, blah, blah. So they despised him and brought no gifts, but they have to realize that sometimes God has a different plan than man. What town is Saul's home? Gibeah. Who went with him? A valiant men whose hearts God had touched. Were there any opposition to Saul being appointed as king? Yep, there was. Did Saul do anything about these people who opposed him? No, he did not. He probably opposed himself being king as well. So this is the end of the chapter, and we come to the crossword. Make sure I have the answers here in case I get stumped, and I made the crossword, so hey. Who is Saul's father? 2 across. That's Kish. Number 4, what was Saul doing with the procession of prophets at Gibeah? Prophesying. What town did Samuel summon the people to? That would be Mizpah. What town is Saul's hometown? Gibeah. 1 down. Who questioned Saul when he finally got home? Uncle? 3 down. Saul had hidden himself among the supplies. And 5, what clan does Saul belong to? Matri. So that's the end of this chapter. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.